Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Play Scrap Mechanics. So, I've got my new vehicle here, and it's doing actually really well. There's obviously some flaws I'd like to work on it over time. But here we have a gas tank. The gas tank is hooked up sort of like how we did our water. It's hooked up to the engines and it automatically fills it up magically. There's no tubing or anything with that. And then that way it uses it from there. And I got two electric engines now, which is pretty awesome. One of them is more upgraded, so I did one more upgrade on this. This one I'm just ignoring, or actually, which one's the upgraded one? I guess this is the non-upgraded one. This is the upgraded one. So this one controls, it should, if I've done this right, yes. This one controls the wheel, so I'm hoping efficiency-wise, the extra upgrade will help us with the fuel. Now, there's a way to do not bearing engines, piston engines, I believe it's called. Basically, eventually I want to try it out because I would like to learn to make one, but at the same time I'm not keen on that because it's more about I shouldn't say an exploit because it's people are using the game obviously, but the idea is it shouldn't be infinite energy, and it kind of is because some of the parts are magical in the game in the sense that they don't require any power or anything like that. So that's kind of how it works. But anyways, that's a different topic and a different day. Like I said, I'd like to eventually, do that. I could almost use a piston that can bring this up and down as well, Like there's still some obviously issues with this. It's not perfect. I'll probably just keep refining this over time, make them even taller, things like that. Maybe I'll even have a refinery, like make a bigger version where it has a refinery on it. But I like the more smaller, nimble style too, right? So... either way, it definitely makes life a lot more easy, as you can see here. Look at this thing. I'm not even, I don't even have to try anymore. It works so well, so I love it a lot. And then you just get in here and just take out whatever. One thing I like about this is I can jam it in there. I don't have any power issues anymore. If you remember the old one, it would jam up easily and I'd have to go in and out kind of thing. Not anymore with this guy, so I can just run in there and just... basically go to town on it. One thing that I like about this as well is I've brought this up one higher than the old one. It's down one lower. So instead of 2 blocks, it's 1 block, which seems to help more on the picking up of things on the refinery here, or the gatherer. Because before it didn't work that well, if you remembered. It would sometimes not quite get there. So it's still, definitely fuel intensive. Like I said, eventually, it's going to be about, getting, the engines upgraded, and they'll get better and better as time goes on, obviously. So that'll be a big, step to the right direction. So, yeah, I wanted to show you this. My farm, on the other hand, did not have a good night. So what ended up happening is I logged in again. And I took a break, and I was out, and I came back in, and there was no warning that there was going to be an invasion, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, oh, that's cool. Either way, I was prepared. There would be one. And then all of a sudden, my FPS went down to, like, nothing. Like, I had so much lag. And then I looked around, and there was probably, I would say there was probably, 25, 30 different robots. It was ridiculous. Honestly, it was super, super ridiculous. And, yeah, it did not work out so well. Unfortunately, things just did not work out. It was a game over. So, look at this. I got 90 of these in here. Those were what I collected around the base of the arms, or the pieces from the one type of robot. And those aren't 100% drop. So you could just imagine 9 of those. And I would say almost 2/3, it seemed, of the robots were the blue ones too. So could have even been worse than that. But I died multiple times. I just swang. These were pathetic. These were a waste of my time. I mean, it's working now, oddly enough. But these guys were smashing through this stuff like no tomorrow. They were able to get through this stuff like it was candy, honestly. So I'm actually getting rid of this because it's useless. You know what I saw, at least, that was somewhat more useful? Was... I like how this one can't be broken that way. So what I found that was somewhat useful is actually just these. It took them longer, not those, these right here. These took a lot longer for them to get through. They had a lot more trouble getting through that. Now, I noticed these have a durability, and they were pretty strong there. I wonder if there's a durability, when I see durability, I don't assume, You know, I'm not thinking like it's some games. Like, okay, so if it says, you know, 3 of durability, it means that, you know, let's just say you do 1 damage a hit. It takes you 3 hits. My assumption is you can't break it unless you do 3 or more damage in durability. That's what I'm guessing on here. So these are actually 3 durability, where I don't know what the other ones were because, well, we just smashed them all, honestly. So who knows now? We'll never look. But I'm wondering if that's the case, what the best robots do damage-wise, and if I could make something more pervious, you know, from their damage. So it is something to, I guess, think about, because I like to do some testing and understand more on that, obviously. These guys, how much was that kind of material anyways? Those were in here, weren't they? Yeah, so here they are. I wish this game would show you the stat. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta go in your inventory for that. So durability was 2, so these are quite weak. I'm almost wondering, like, you know, these guys I don't think are that strong either. Let's see here. These ones are 3 durability, so they're stronger. There is different stone blocks as well. I saw one that looked interesting. Yeah, this one right here, 4 durability. So I was actually more interested in this because, and look at this one. This obviously gets higher. This is your base metal ones. The only downside is I like those metal ones a lot, but at the same time, I'm wondering, like, where does it, like, end for those guys? Where do they say, you know what, that's too much for me. I can't fight your farm. I'm giving up, right? So I'm kind of intrigued to, you know, learn that, I guess, in the long run, because I honestly don't know where those lines are and how that works. But stupid cookbot's making so much noise. But once again, I will let you know, farming has failed severely and badly once again for us. I'd put another chest here for organization's sake. I made this saddle, and then I made the new seat. I ended up going with this one because this one's like a 2, I think. 2x2, or like 2 wide, sorry. Or sorry, 4 wide. I'm keeping on doing it in halves, radius kind of math here. So it was 4. And I wanted to do an odd, and then I think the other seat could do odd, but then I realized I built this in an even, but this was off, and then I flipped it around, and in the end, I'm happy with the look of it. Even the piston, you know, it comes off the, you know, the half there. I guess I could put 2 pistons if it really bothers me, but I think I'm going to learn to not get too excited, if you know what I mean. Because that's just going to only destroy me inside deeply, and I think we need to stop destroying myself deeply. So this is 3 durability, and those, what was that other, it was 4, right? So I wonder, yeah, 4 durability. So I'm wondering what happens if I start using these as some building blocks. Obviously, this will take a while. You can actually automate this when you hit the upgrade 20. I believe you can do like a loop or a repeat. You have to connect it all through like the chest system and whatnot, but as far as I know, you can do like a loop type system. But I'm wondering, you know, would that be a better and reinforced way to do a farm? And then after all the disaster, I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna place small 9x9 farms. So I built this 9x9 farm, and guess what? They came and raided it. And then I punched it all, thinking, you know what, like right when it saw the timer, I said screw it, and I broke all the crops so I just didn't have to deal with them. But they still came and tried to raid nothing that was there. My idea was actually to be a little more clever. I was going to plant multiple, you know, patches of farms spread out like this as a test to see if it would work. And just the first one I work on, so I didn't have any crops planted anywhere else, and the world total was 9, and I was getting raided anyway. So that is how it is, unfortunately. That seems to be you know, that seems to be my bad luck anyways, in that side of stuff. So we're just not lucky with that. I think, you know, what I need to do is just stay away from farming for now, till I can get more and more materials. Obviously having this puppy, you know, stronger would help. You know, even building this on here somewhere might be worthwhile. It's so big and clumpy that sometimes I kind of don't want to do that. But at the same time, it makes me wonder, like, would it be worth it? You know, I guess you could put this, like, on this, couldn't you? I guess that would work. I didn't even think of that, but I guess that would work. I mean, it would really screw the balance of this a bit. But there's no reason why it can't work on top of it, actually. And you could even move it more like over here, you know what I mean? And you can do it till you get your little access point. There you go. There you go. I wonder. I know this will counter some of the weight. Won't be perfect, but I'm actually curious to see if this could be used to farm like this. Obviously, the more weight's going to cost us a lot more fuel as well, so we have to keep that in mind. There's always a downside to being too silly, but I wonder. Even keeping it in the field, like bringing it with you, setting it down, and then just, you know, loading it up or whatever, might be worth it. You know, like one of my biggest issues is I keep going back and forth, right? So let's see how much fuel is in this thing right now. Okay. Yeah, obviously this is pretty bad now, so let's crank this up more. This is the wrong one. There you go. Let's just crank it fully at this point, because this thing can't even... Oh, this thing is beautiful. Oh. Yeah, because it's not wide anymore. It's going to be pretty tippy. Oh, wow. Look at that. I like that, actually. I like... Well, that hurt. I think I just clipped into the roof, I guess, because I was bending it around and stuff like that. So I need to find more material, actually. You know, I found a lot this way, but I mean, there must be some more else this way, too. Oh, and there's the downside with this setup is, like, the second you do that, you're going to have issues. Now, the problem is if this gets full in tips, that's where the issues are going to become really annoying. Oh, yeah, you got to remove your thing there. You know, you can just place it elsewhere and be lazy. So let's see if we can find another patch. I'm interested in doing this. Like I said, this is probably not going to be the best for the fact that you're going to have to fight with it. But it's an experiment. You know, look at, we're close to tipping even right here. You got to really be careful. If I turn too much here, we're tipping. So, oh, here's some right here. Obviously, you want to be careful too. If one of those bad bots find us, they can, you know, ruin this thing really fast, actually. I like how we just, like, pulverize the thing. It's now we gotta do the finer tuning of, you know, the smaller rocks here. It's like we know this thing friggin' shreds everything in sight. There it is. Yeah, it's doing its thing. So if you make it big enough and wide and slightly wider, it probably work. I'd probably want more teeth than on this. I'd probably want a way to bring them down a bit too, you know. Maybe start them even higher, you know what I mean? And then let like the piston drop it up and down kind of thing if you'd like. Now I wonder if you can like do more control over the piston. Like, from what I've learned right now with the piston, it, you know, you can set, like, a max length and things like that, but I wonder if I can, you know, say, oh, I want, like, multiple settings. Like, I want it this setting for this time, and this for that. I don't know if you can program them like that or not. Or you can use another device for that, like that controller, for example. So this thing is badass. It just destroys everything in sight, right? It's just a little harder to deal with the smaller bits. We'll see how bad our fuel is right now. Oh my goodness. Our fuel is insanely used, yeah. The downside to all this is the fuel, basically. Another thing you can do is you can just use this. Okay, let's just say, okay, we're only using this for breaking the main stuff if I can get up there. Yeah, I'm already getting trapped on the material, so that doesn't work so well when you want to do it that way and you can't get through it, you know? Okay. So I'm like, okay, let's just say, okay, we want this just to break this down. I'm trying to get up the hill here. Well, there you go. Can we still pick this up? We can. I wonder when you can't pick it up anymore. I wonder if there's something stored in there you can't, but because we're using this thing, it does let you. I'm not sure how that works. There you go. So as you can see, the piston one might, the piston engine, like I say, is, it's not like by style, but you got to admit, if it could solve some of this, you know, the fuel usage in this game is just too much, and the automation on it doesn't exist, right? You can't automate right now fuel, so that becomes very problematic. But this is a lot of fun, though. This is actually kind of working. So honestly, bigger and bulkier would make this work even better, but at the same time, you'd be powering the fuel for like 10 seconds and then that's it. You're done for the day. Oh, here we go again. Whee! Get right under there. It's kind of like you're tickling the hill. Oh, we're going down again. At least the lift thing in this game is like the savior. Imagine not having that feature. Ho ho ho. Well, I think at that point my creations would be like 5 times wide. It's like, unless if my vehicle just starts to fly, it ain't coming off the ground. Look at that, we're in the red. Like, I gotta actually be careful now because we might actually not make it back. 17. Damn, that was a lot of... What did we use, like 30 or something crazy? You know, there was a time when I was hitting this stuff, we just go flying on purpose. It's like, no, don't do that. Nice to see metal down there. Yes, so honestly, in some ways, one of the ways I see it being more efficient doing this is, it sounds horribly inefficient, but I think it would work more efficiently, is more drills as well. I think if you get more drills on this puppy, the idea why it would be more efficient would be the idea of basically like you're drilling it and breaking it down. Like the drills don't seem to use as much power versus like moving the vehicle around and the vehicle weight and stuff like that. So I have a feeling if I were to, you know, play around with that more, that you could actually be able to have more efficiency there. Another thing you could do is you could also take this off. You'll get to your destination, take this off, just drive by it, fills it up at, you know, at random for you. Another thing you could do is carry 2 of these with you, drop one off, kind of end the other thing, and just kind of use it back and forth, like kind of like a modular utility, and you can just go to the site, do what you need to do, and then pack it all away. But even then, just driving there and back will still use quite a lot of fuel, right? So that's the downside right now. We're at the level where fuel is actually very taxing, and it does make you cry a bit. So. But we're still a noob, and we're going to get better. And obviously, this game's in like an early access. This is the first time it's ever done survival. And it's going to, it's obviously going to get better, hopefully. You hope it's going to get better. I'm sure the devs will make it better. Oh, there you go. We lost it. We good this time? Yeah, I think that's the big key here. It just came out with the, survival, and there's a lot of tweaks. I'm sure they're going to plan on some sort of ability to allow like automation of oil and things like that as well. So, we attempted it anyways, but not quite there yet. Oh gosh, there you go. I like the piece stuck in there. It's like, oh, we'll just keep it out there. There you go. Can we squeeze out of here? It's funny because we were doing okay before getting it in and out here. I think it's because we're on the hill, maybe, or there you go. How's our fuel now? Yeah, not too bad. Enough to get home anyways. Like I said, it helps. I don't know, it does help. It definitely helps. I think, in a way, I definitely wasting less time maybe doing it this way. Because normally I'd have to run back and forth, but it ain't perfect, that's for sure. Oops, I forgot to right-click instead. There you go. I don't actually mind doing the hands-on, by the way. This is kind of enjoyable to me. So that's another thing too, right? I could always do like both of them, the holder and everything separate. Take it out here. That would use way less fuel, actually, be way less heavier. Obviously it take time to get to the site still, right? But once you get to the site, take it all off. Just don't bother lifting it up and stuff, and then just have it nearby and just hand fill it, And the thing is, it might actually, when you move that bottom part around, it might actually collect for you. So what you could probably do here is just go around, hammer it all by hand, the smaller pieces, and then literally just take this and place it all around and pick up all the pieces. I'm not saying that would work, but you never know. It might actually work. And then there you go. You head home, and there's your slightly more improved miner. I think... the top heavy was, this is just an afterthought we just did now. Obviously, that doesn't make it work really well. But I think the miner itself, before we added all that, it was definitely doing a lot better there. So I'm really happy about that. At this point, what I need to do is, honestly, I need to get out farming more. I need more parts. Like, if I'm going to upgrade the engines, use less fuel, things like that, literally what I need to be doing is getting out there and just killing more bots, farming the places. That's kind of like the big part of the game, is just more killing the bots. Actually, I'd say a big part of this game is literally killing bots and finding those chests and opening them up, because the upgrade parts are pretty, big. Like, even the piston can be upgraded, Everything pretty much in this game has an upgrade. The craft bot can do even more stuff with it if I were to upgrade it, so... It's very, it's very based on, hey, upgrade stuff. Oops. I'm sorry. There you go. Did I left click that? I'm not sure. There you go. How are you anyways? So look at that. That's pretty good. We got 19 of the one bars and 17 of the other. So 17 the steel bars and 19 of the others, because I think they do them in 10-10, right? So, I mean, that's not too bad. I don't know how many of these actually held. I didn't really, look at it before. But, if you went to a bigger one, obviously that would have made it a lot more convenient. So, there we go. I just dumped things in here. But, yeah, for the farm stuff, yeah, unfortunately, it's just I'm not having a lot of fun with that. I have to admit, I'm fighting with it. The other option I had was maybe, put it in the middle of an island or some crap like that. But at the same time, it's like... well, the blue bots, they swim, right? Apparently that doesn't stop them. I do find it a little bit more, I don't know, I feel like it's a little cheaper, in my opinion, just a bit. But also I think that just it'll start taking way too much of my time too. Like right now, basically the way the farming system works is if you wanted to continue farming every night, day, whatever, you got to farm, protect, farm, protect, farm, protect. You can't really go far from your base unless you take down your farm. And that's kind of how the game works right now. And maybe it changes later on when you're able to do, other things, but this is another thing too. If you get too far from your base, I noticed like if I had a bunch of things queued or this was going, the refinery, and if I go far away, it stops working. What happens if I go far away and I don't defend the base? Does the base still get attacked? Does it reload at that point? Did the crops grow during that time, or do the crops not grow? Like there's a lot of intriguing questions I have, on some of the mechanics. And I think, a lot of this is just because it's a brand new, it's brand new game kind of in a sense, the survival part of it. And there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I think people need to learn them. I think there's a lot of little bugs within it. So it's kind of hard to know, are we doing good? Are we doing bad? How do I know I'm doing good or bad, And then these are the things, basically. So either way, I've been having a lot of fun. Honestly, the grind has been, trying to get this, the food stuff working, which hasn't been the best of luck. Cows seem to be the best thing, or small amounts of crops. But even then, obviously I tried to do less, and we still got raided. So that's interesting. And there was quite a few. When I did the 9 crops, there's still quite a few that came. And it's like, man, like usually I have trouble fighting like 2 or 3 guys, right? So it's like, well, not trouble, but if they stack up, that could be pretty dangerous, especially if it's the farm bots. So anyways, I think I'll leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and we'll see wonderful people next time. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.